Welcome to episode 41 of the Girl About the Globe podcast, where I'm continuing our series of making a difference when you travel. This week, I discuss ways that you can have a cultural experience to give us a better understanding of the countries we are traveling to and the people whom we meet. Stay tuned. Welcome to Girl About the Globe, a podcast for you, the solo female traveller, empowering women to travel solo with maximum adventure, minimum impact. There are no foreign lands, it's only the traveller who is foreign. Robert Louis Stevenson. Sometimes we can get too comfortable in life. Travelling gives us the much needed chance to challenge ourselves and get out of our comfort zone, especially when you travel solo. The world has a way of opening our minds to possibilities when we see the challenges, achievements and experiences that other people in different parts of the world go through. We're all looking for that cultural experience when we travel, whether it's just meeting other travellers from distant lands and learning how our ethics and values align, or wanting to immerse ourselves with local people and our surroundings. We're all looking to connect with something. Learning about others' customs gives us a better understanding of each other and also shows us what we take for granted, especially coming from consumer-driven societies. There really is no better way to learn from another culture than visiting a country. But I'm not just talking about spending 3 days on a city break. Getting out into the rural towns and countryside are where you'll find the more local people and be able to observe their traditional way of life instead of that of a city dweller. Visit Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, for instance, and you won't find much culture, but step away from the city and in less than 2 hours you'll be greeted with nomadic hospitality that is near forgotten in the capital. But wherever you travel, there may be some cultural differences that you need to know before you go. All cultures in the world tend to evolve in different ways. Some cultures excel or have abundance in certain things that other cultures may be short of. Immersing ourselves in other cultures helps us to get a different perspective on life. It can help us to understand other people better and the reasons as to why they do things a certain way. Having prior knowledge of a country will not only make your life easier when you arrive, but it will help you to merge into your surroundings with more ease. You will also be able to help other solo travellers who follow your footsteps through the same countries. You'll have a better understanding of the way the country works and how to interact with people, especially as a solo woman. Being alone can be seen as a bit taboo in some countries such as Nepal, India and the Middle East, especially if you are unmarried with no children. So saying that you have a partner or a husband will help any unwanted looks of disapproval and make you feel more comfortable. If you're travelling as a Westerner, you may still feel obvious at times. But if you really don't want to stick out as much, observing what the locals wear and adapting your style to theirs can help you to feel less conspicuous. One huge difference is time. Understanding that some countries do not operate on the same time schedule can take some getting used to. They may eat later or turn up 2 hours late, which can be frustrating. Try to adapt your schedule to theirs and not get frustrated because they're not working to the schedule that you're used to. Gestures can differ too. In Bulgaria, people shake their heads for no, which actually means yes, so meanings can get lost in translation. Don't expect all of the facilities to work as well. In some countries, running water is a luxury and should be used sparingly. In Mongolia, for instance, for 2 weeks every summer, they turn the hot water off. In Cape Town, they have frequent power cuts. On Caribbean islands and Nicaragua, there's no electricity after the sun sets. This also applies to the internet, so don't expect a Wi-Fi connection wherever you go. Hygiene differs too. Throwing litter in Nepal is seen as normal, so is going to the toilet in the street in India. It's not common to spit or hack your nose in parts of Asia, where the noise in China may not be what you're used to. The use of microphones everywhere and people shouting, slurping and pushing in can get your anxiety levels up, but just breathe and realise that it's part of the culture. Getting annoyed is the worst thing that you can do. This also applies to traffic. Honking cars, drivers going too fast and no regard for traffic rules. Sometimes it appears as though there's not even any regard for life, as some believe that God will look after them no matter how reckless they drive. But the system for the most part works. Hand gestures, touching others, table manners and of course tipping are all part of the cultural difference and etiquette that you need to know. What works for you back home may not work for you in India, for example. You may find yourself stunned by the amount of begging in Southeast Asia or shocked by the victim of landmines in Cambodia. But nearly everywhere you go, you will experience incredible kindness from local people. Accept the differences, embrace them, and just go with it. Culture Smart are guides with essential information on attitudes, beliefs, and behaviours in different countries so that you can be prepared before you travel. Getting cultural doesn't have to be as extreme as living with a Mayan family near the Guatemalan border for a week. It can be something as simple as a homestay in a city for a couple of nights. Anything that exposes you to the locals is perfect. Here are some other ways for some cultural immersion. Couchsurfing was originally founded by a community of individuals who opened up their homes to the travelling community. It's more than a place to stay, it's a way of exchanging with people from all over the world. Admittedly, it's not living in a hut surrounded by chickens experience, but you do get to stay with more modern locals and teach them about your way of life and alternatively learn from theirs. Being a cultural exchange, they can show you around their city or town, introduce you to their circle of friends and take you to their favourite restaurants, bars or places of interest and give you an authentic experience of their culture. If you're short on time, couch surfing is definitely worth considering. Homestays are a way of entirely immersing yourself within a host family. You live, sleep, sometimes even eat with your family. This is for people who truly want to learn about another culture or learn another language quickly. In a family homestay, you quickly become a member of the family who introduce you to their way of life and take you on family events or get you to participate in their routine. You don't have to spend all your time in one though, as some just offer food and a place to sleep. But a homestay does give you the chance to experience the real life of the person that you stay with and a better understanding of their culture. It doesn't have to be restricted to normal homes either. It could even be living with a hill tribe for a few days, observing their simple way of living, which will give you a new appreciation for yours. If you want to connect with the land and your surroundings more than the people, then consider a work experience exchange on an organic farm. Workaway is a community of friendly hosts set up to promote cultural understanding between people and lands across the globe. Hosts are based in many countries and are looking for volunteers to do a number of tasks, such as teaching English to their children, painting, planting and shearing sheep. You volunteer with them in exchange for accommodation and sometimes food. Workaway enables those on a tight budget to be able to live and work in a foreign country while learning about the land, people and culture. It's also a great way of learning another language by only conversing with your local family or employers in their native tongue. There's no minimum time to stay and you can be any age. Other ways to get cultural? You can search for programs in the country that you're visiting, especially ones which practice sustainability, helping the local community. Look for those which are non-profit organisations and combine community-based programs to help put money back into the locals' pocket. A great example of this is Gurtiga in Mongolia. Not only do locals earn their own money, but the traveller gets to experience nomadic life while exchanging ideas about theirs. Download an app to learn the language and learn a few phrases before you go, or enrol in some courses abroad to learn the language as you travel. It's often a great way to throw yourself into the culture, and you'll definitely come out the other side knowing at least enough to get by. Body language and expressions can also help you get by, especially for directions. Try and practice even if people smile at you. It's all part of the cultural exchange. Immersing yourself within a local culture and seeing yourself as a unity rather than an outsider will help create an understanding of the culture that you're in. Being more accommodating to other cultures doesn't mean losing your identity. It means being more comfortable with others and them also with you, to create no divide or behaviour that can be misread and offensive. A country can be defined by people within it. So while sites and places can be breathtakingly awesome, you will never truly know a place unless you speak freely to the people within it. Embrace the locals, join in with their activities, try the local food, and above all, do as the locals do. Not only will you enjoy your time so much more, but you'll come away with a more enriched experience of what life is really like within another culture. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can read the full article at the Girl About the Globe website. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to our Girl About the Globe podcast, making solo travel easier for you. Find everything that you need for your solo travels at girlabouttheglobe.com and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.